now you want to talk about what do you want to talk about in early stage reefs?
Well, let me just read my little paragraph.
Okay.
Wow, I've waited so long for you to give me affirmation to do what the hell I want to do. It's painful.
To read is the funniest thing. Why don't you just say it?
Well, because it's right here. Okay. Zip it. Chasing Down Epidemics in Early Stage Reefs.
By Ben Johnson.
By Ben Johnson. Signed.
Second grade.
Yeah. Dear audience. No.
Miss Jacobson.
Miss Jacob, there's a book report. When you don't know what you are doing, you tend to go heavy-handed with your things and cause other problems. Algae, red planaria, aptasia diatoms. You got to do regular maintenance. You got to do water changes. Early detection of these things are helpful to avoid a plague situation. These things are also hurdles that can get hobbyists to quit out of frustration. They can be easily avoided by regular maintenance and early detection with action.
As a great man once said, it's not all about sitting back and enjoying what you've made, but coming in closer and being on the lookout for things that will derail you.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Did you copy this out of a FAMA?
No, it's AI. I said AI. What is Ben gonna say next? And that's
okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's just. I think people. Okay, here's my synopsis. This is the real me. People think that you make like a reflex what's behind you, and then you sit back and go on autopilot. But I'm saying it's not about, your tank looks like you behind you and people come over and then you're shitting on your own tank because you're like, oh, but there's an aptasia here and there's this. I'm trying to get rid of these diatoms, and people are looking at you like, dude, your tank looks great and you're only focused on the negative. I mean, so that's far the other coin. But I mean, you realize where someone has a tank like what Richard has behind him, like, a lot of his thoughts are sometimes, it's not being negative, but they're geared towards, shoring up what isn't perfect. Not like anyone's trying to chase down a perfect tank. It doesn't exist, but, we're looking for the things that could derail the whole thing. And that's really the only way your tank is going to get to look like that it's not, oh, there's aptasia, gonna do something about it in 2 years. It's you identify things and try to do something about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it's I'm thinking a lot about this. We'll talk about it maybe in a minute, but it's your tank, right? And there's always something to be done on your tank. The dishes are never done on your tank. They're never set and forget. And you need to enjoy your tank for what it is. And if you're not doing that, you're doing something wrong.
But too much kicking your feet up is going to derail your tank.
Right. It's that balance between benign neglect and overwork.
But let me interject this real quick. And through my whole career, there's been all these times where I've seen a decent tank and someone's like, man, it's great. And yeah, I haven't done much to it at all in like 2 months. And it always bugs me in the back of my head because here is me who's been doing this for a long time. And it's like, if you carry that attitude, it will not look like this anymore. So yeah, that's cool. It's sort of ran itself well for 2 months, but you got to start doing maintenance again because
yeah.
I mean, you're like, oh, I changed oil in my car and like, damn, it's running good. So fuck it. I'm not changing oil anymore until it runs badly.
Yeah. It's, you can ignore it for only so long. And then if you ignore it for too long, then the task becomes Herculean and Sisyphusian, and you don't want to do it.
Wow. Look at you.
Oh, Greek. I know words.
You know words.
I know Greek stuff.
No, I think our audience is smart, but some people are now Googling Sisyphusian and
Hercules was big, strong dude. And Sisyphus was also another big, strong dude.
Pushing up a boulder. When does it end?
Never. Atlassian with the world on your
Atlas
back.
shrugged.
I'll meet you in the Rockies.
Yeah.
It's because I've done that even, and when I depressed, if you leave it too long, then it's like you've got so much to do. And then you got to convince yourself to just start doing, something.
I
So
think it's
yeah,
okay when you're catching your breath, but
yeah.
but some of these people I've talked to, it's like, not that they've said it, but it's like, man, look, this tank is doing great. I've barely done much to it in 2 months, and I'm gonna keep doing that shit. No, it's fine. Like, man, my uncle just passed away. We had this. The tank's sort of taking care of itself, but I'm gonna get back in there and start doing water changes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Because I'll watch my tank. I won't clean the glass for months, right? Because it's kind of interesting to watch how it actually becomes viewable.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when I clean, it's like, oh, this is better. But
Yeah.
I'm not ignoring everything. And in fact, when you ignore everything, bad things happen. I had another, we talked an episode or two ago about the dose pump that went bad. The head was clogged. I had another one was clogged on this little cube tank I have over here. And it wasn't, and I caught it before it became a real problem. So, regular maintenance on stuff is a thing, and you're just asking for disaster if you don't pay attention. And I think maybe, are you worried about this? That when people go, I haven't done anything, I'm just going to keep doing that. It's that they actually don't know what to be looking for as
sure.
or
they think that the goal is eventually they're going to get a reef tank or whatever aquarium to just like, man, I could not even be here and it will be awesome. Because I can tell you, like, if I've ever come back in contact with them, like a year later, something like that, and people are like, oh yeah, that tank crashed. I'm like, well, no shit.
Right. Well, it's that's interesting. That's the worst placeholder ever. That's interesting. I do think, you said before, people aren't chasing perfect tank. I think everyone is chasing a perfect tank. Not everyone. Yeah. I think a lot of people, and the perfect is almost always the enemy of the good. It's definitely the enemy of joy. But if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't really have a feel for what could be going bad, and you're just laying back, that's like, how long can you keep your hands off the steering wheel?
Yeah, I mean, sure, you could do it for a little bit, but when you hit the telephone pole, that's an issue.
Yeah, yeah. Contemplate that upon the tree of woe.
Yes.
Crucify him.
Shrug that at us.